Hey everyone, Zigzter here with a quick video on how to play Roamer on Snakewater. For this one I actually had Seagull go over the notes that I made. So he added some extra things, changed a little bit. So I'd like to give a big thank you to him. He made the video a lot better. So shout out to him. So I'll be doing it the same format as my previous ones, where I'll be just doing the rollout to mid, and then push all the way to last, and then back to mid. So for the rollout it's the same as any other map. You don't want to do these jumps, you want to keep your crit buffs. And then from here it's just a simple wall jump, land here. You can surf up the stairs if you want. It doesn't really do anything that look fancy because you're probably going to have to wait here anyway for the medic to catch up. And then here, it depends on how fast the medic is. If he's pretty fast, you just do a jump up here, land around here. If he's a bit slower and you don't want him to not be healing anybody, you can just kind of wait here and walk up. And then this is just a simple jump to land here. Now from here you can either go top left, depending what you're doing at mid, or you can walk out right. You can kind of, depending on like your buffs and everything, like if you're at 300 you might be able to just do that and land here quickly. But otherwise you can just walk out. Like the extra time doesn't really affect it that much. So for playing mid there's 4 ways that I usually like to play. The first one is playing up here. So either up here or on your side. From here you basically can just rain down rockets on them. It's really strong if they don't contest it too much. Just because your team can push across, you just shoot them down. From here you also have kind of an angle on this roof in case their soldier goes up here. Against better teams it's, from my experience, is a bit less effective just because their demo will be spamming you up here. They'll maybe send their scout up here to get you. So it's probably my first go-to mid, but if you're against a team that's really good at shutting it down, it's less effective. It can be more effective if you have both soldiers up here and maybe you and a scout. So just kind of play around with it, see what works, see what you need to back you up. The other one is going into your own kitchen. This one is also pretty strong. I find that if people see you do it, especially the scouts, they'll just hold W onto you. If you expect it, it's a really easy kill. Like you just wait here, you can even free fire a little bit as long as you can keep your reloads down. And then basically just kill them as they come in. Plus if they decide to push across the point, you're right here just to get like so much spam damage on them. If they're playing a bit more passive, you can even angle here. If you see an opening, you just do a quick jump off that wall. This is generally a pretty strong position. If it's kind of like a more drawn out fight, and they're not really pushing your team too hard, you can even just go down here, go for a flank. This one's a bit more like baity, I guess. I don't do it too often. Mostly if I'm just kind of like screwing around a little bit. Or if I think that I might have the time to, like if our team looks like they're not really losing that bad. Plus if you go down here and they're backing out, you can always go up here. Either jump in here to cut them off, or you can just jump on their heads as they're coming out here. That's pretty good. Another spot that can be effective occasionally is going up here. It could be pretty dangerous if they have a soldier that's up here and he basically peeks this or something. You're basically dead because you can't get out of that. But if they don't, it can still be pretty good. Sometimes I have like scouts pushing across here or there, a soldier, you can just get pretty much free damage on them. They can basically just do a blind bomb around anywhere you want to. I wouldn't do it too often. It can be good, depending on the team you're playing against, but this is one mid I like to use occasionally. The last mid is playing your own kitchen. For that one, to get there, you can either just do your regular jump, go over here, and then basically just drop out the window. Don't take fall damage, of course. The advantage of that one, I think you're a little bit slower. I haven't really timed them out or anything, but you'll have a way bigger buff, like probably maybe 300. And you can just get up here, get up here. The other one is just, I think it is a bit faster, but you won't have as much health. Like you'll get maybe like 250 or so, or if you're lucky 300, and just rocket jump off the wall. Usually the fall damage doesn't matter that much because you'll have the pack here, so you can just grab that. If you want to be really fast, do that. That's kind of the same idea as playing your own, or playing their kitchen. You get the spam angles there, there. If they push across, you can wrap them. If your team starts pushing across, you can come with them and jump up here to take height. Now for holding mid, you kind of pretty much always want to be up top somewhere. Like maybe if they have a pretty strong advantage, you can be up here more. You can watch that, you can watch that, even get spammed there. Or you can hold on here. From here you get kind of like a nice spam angle here. You can even peek a bit more to get a better one. And basically just get some free damage on them as they're pushing, and you can back up a bit, reload. And if they push here, you can get even more damage on them. If they go there, you can get more damage on them. You just don't want to commit too hard, especially if they're pushing here. Just because if they're pushing here and they see you up there, they might just like send a soldier on you to kill you. So you don't want to be like here or anything as they're like right there, of course. You just want to play it a bit careful, and then your pocket will probably be like over there, also spamming the door. So you can even just get a force like right there. If you're spamming that area with your pocket and they're pushing, it's a pretty good chance of getting a force. If you don't get the force, you'll just do a lot of damage and you can just back out a bit. Force them as they come in here. If your scout, you'll have like a scout under here watching that area. If your scout calls that they're going under, then you can just like still get a lot of damage on them as they're here coming in here, and then just jump away. You always try to want to survive this just because it's so easy to get out right here. Like you just get a force, and as soon as you get the force, you just jump away and try to stay alive. So we're pushing into the two. You kinda, there's two ways that are pretty good to play. There's the one where you can go grass with your scouts, and then from here you can either go under here. This can be a little dangerous just because if there are roamers on here, it's not an easy fight unless you jump them, but then their scouts will be fighting you as well. So you can either go under if they're gonna back a bit, and then jump up from here anywhere you want. Or you can jump up on the shack, kind of bully him out here. The other one is playing from upper saw. From here, you can kind of stop any flanks from their roam or anything that tries to jump in here. You get spam angles on here, and then you can kind of see how the fight's going. And as your Ubers kind of pushing in here, you can basically jump anywhere you want. You can jump like to the right, or you can jump into their cheese. So there's lots of ways to jump from that window. But basically, the main idea is that you watch how the fight's going and then just pick your targets based off of that. You don't want to like just sit near all fight and basically do nothing. You do want to eventually make that jump and help your team out. If you're holding up here and your team decides that they want an Uber force, you can just get the quick 300 and jump out the window. You can land on the medic's head. Usually they'll be around here. You just land right on top. And it's usually a kind of an easy force. For holding 2, I kind of like this spot, at least at the start. Kind of like just when you win 2 or something, you can like watch this area for any roamer that just come in here and then jump up top or something. As your team kind of gets like more of an advantage, or you start taking lobby, you can kind of come in here, and then you can either hold here, or you can kind of hold on the ramp if your combo is holding the shutter area. Then you can just kind of hold here and get anybody that comes in. As long as you're down here, just keep in mind that sometimes teams like to buff maybe a scout and a soldier and then push them into you here just to catch you off. So just want to be careful of that. You don't want to commit too hard. For forcing the Uber, there's 2 spots I usually like to do it from. There's this one here. You just get a buff and then just jump out the window. And for medics here, you can usually get an easy force on them. The other one is just... this one is the one I use more often. You just do a double jump. You get a lot of distance. You basically go anywhere. Like, if the medic's call, you can just go wherever you want, land on his head. For pushing into their last, it's kind of the same as the force. I can go in here, minus that jump, but instead of doing that jump directly onto them, you can just take the shack. And holding this is pretty good. Like, you can just get so much damage on them as they're down here and your team is pushing in. If they're kind of a bit more disorganized, you can even jump on the truck here. Like if they're kind of like trying to back out in the resup, you can get him as they're doing that. You can jump on a point. The other one, as I said, was the same force spot. Is where you push out of here. Again, like just as with the force one, I don't use this one too much. I pretty much always go left, but it can be effective, like if your combo goes left or something. Or if they come through shutter here, you can just come up here. Just kind of like slow fight it. Holding last is kind of basically wherever your combo isn't, which usually they'll be over there. So usually I'll be up here. You can get spam on them here. If they decide to push, you can like easily get a lot of damage on them, and then as they start jumping or something, just jump away, hit the resup or something. Another thing you can try is being up on here. If their combo decides to push left and Uber or something, you can catch any flanking classes here. If it's just the one, you can kind of usually get an easy kill on them. If they decide to push more on you, you can just jump away, take height, spam a bit, and when they jump you can do the same thing as the normal hold, jump away. If their combo is holding right, which doesn't happen too often, but if it does, I'll usually be around here. You can watch shutter from here, you can kind of peek in here, get cheeky spam damage on them. You just want to kind of watch that drop down area as well. Sometimes if you're just like looking here, Scout can just hold W right into you, so just kind of want to keep in mind. Just put some spam on them. Some teams, if you're holding up here, they will send their demo like constantly over here and just spam you off with stickies. And if he's buffed, there's not a lot he can do. Like he'll do more damage to you than you do to him. If they do that a lot, sometimes I'll just kind of like wait around here or wait around here and have like a scout over there, just spot him. And you just kind of jump over. Kind of want to be careful with that one. It's pretty risky because you usually have backup or something. So if you think that it's just like you can't win a fight, you can just quickly jump away. Try to have a buff when you do that, of course. But sometimes you can just get a demo kill. For seconds, it's usually best to go right. You have like maybe a scout go under, your combo goes left. And then from here you can either come in here, check the spots, check the cheese spots. Or if you have a scout going cheese, then I kind of prefer that just because he can do a lot of damage around there. You can check the spots, and here you can basically do anything you want. Just because you got this wall to jump off, you can just jump off here to help your team fight here. Or if they're backing up pretty hard, you can just do a double jump to land on their heads. Do a lot of damage. Just don't overcommit. If you have somebody pushing up right as well, then I'll usually go down here. Just make sure to check that area. Check the ramp. Check that little ledge there. And then just push out under. Check here. You can hide them there. And then from here you can just kind of jump anywhere you want, depending on what your team is doing. Help them out on the fight. For holding your own second, usually up here is pretty good. You can get a nice angle into the saw. If they go under, you can get spam on them there. Basically, the idea here is just to get a lot of spam on them. You can call the roamer jump if he goes there. If they push there, you can just do so much spam damage to them. Shack is okay as well. It's less effective though, just because you don't have that soft spam angle. Unless you just hit like a direct on them. You do get a bit more coverage from under though, like you get that grassy area. But mostly that's what the second is. You can also go up here. I don't like it as much though, just because you have less presence on the flank there. But you can hold the saw area a bit down. I'll usually go up here if we're kind of just pushing in a second to hold it. I'll go up here just because you can kind of cover both areas while your team sets up. And as soon as I get to, like, our combo gets a good setup here, I'll just move down here and hold this. If you accidentally fall off here, you don't take any fall damage, so you can just get a quick buff again and then go back up. For pushing in the mid from your second, it's kind of the same thing where you just go the opposite way of your combo. You can kind of go with them for a little bit, like if they're going grass, you're going grass, just do something else, like go into saw here. If you do go saw, either from going through the window or just coming through here, you just kind of want to play off your scout. Like if your scout goes there, you can go up there. If your scout goes up there, you can go down here. From here you can kind of like delay depending on what your team is doing. If they're coming through under, you can come in here. and basically just like take over the other side of the map and push their team out. If you have a big number ad, you can do basically any big jumps that'll let you get onto their team as they're trying to leave mid, and just get like maybe a free pick or two. If your team decides to push Saw into mid, you can go down under here, either come up here, this is a good wall to jump off, or you can go through Kitchen. I like Kitchen if their team doesn't see you. It's usually pretty effective. Just could come up here, they'll basically be backing onto the point and looking over there as your team pushes there, and you just get a lot of damage on them as they're backing out. Or you can just jump off the wall onto their heads. So something I didn't do in the previous videos was add the forward spawn jumps. So I'm going to do that. So for the first forward spawn, you just kind of jump off this wall, skip off the shack, and land there. Then you have this back to grab. From here, it's kind of the same jump. It just depends on where you want to go. Usually I'll go under. Sometimes you can go Saw. Basically, this is what you do. If you go off those, you can just land on here. If you don't hit them and you go a bit lower, then you can just end up landing in under. So usually I'll just kind of like decide on the fly, depending, no pun intended, but depending on how I hit the jump, where I'm going to go. So if I don't go as high on the first jump, I'll just go into under. Just like that. You can also just go into their Saw if you want. So those are the two I use the most. Technically three, depending on if you hit that. This isn't something I do a lot, but doing that jump can also be pretty effective on mid. If you do that one where you just drop out a window after getting the buff, and you just come up here. So as an added bonus in terms of mids, I'll show you a jump that's pretty hard to do. I think I learned it from Technosex. I think he showed it to me. It's a pretty hard jump. And it's kind of the same as the one getting into their Saw or their under, where depending on how you hit it, you can kind of change it up. But it is pretty hard. I wouldn't try it a lot, just occasionally. It's more of a, I'd call it a pug scrim jump. But this is how you do it. So you can get up here pretty quick. So hopefully that was useful to you guys, and I will see you on the next one.